Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyper Roll with Autarch as we continue to explore gold 3-star forecasts. And because of the inane amount of RNG this season, it's one of the few ways that you can be assured of getting a victory, but you're going to need a lot of luck. Let's look at the first set of augments. Nothing super exciting. We have a Kobuko out there, and as you know, if you have a Kobuko out, you might as well try for more. This build's going to get a little funky as we go, so try and stick with it. After failing to get another Kobuko until after I sold him, now there's 2 more in the shop, I decided to abandon that strategy and head into Heavenly. Not sure what direction I'm going to go from there. At this point, I'm just trying to figure out what the build is going to be. When given lots of ribbons, I decide to head into the Heavenly Altruist, which is not nearly as forcible as it was early on due to competition for a lot of the units and the nerf to altruists just a little bit. The key in that build is getting a strong Soraka, so needlessly large rod meet needlessly large rod equal Rabadon's death cap. And so far this build is just marching along the way this build usually does. Kind of win, lose, until you can get at least a 2-star Soraka. You're not really going to get very far, and then you're counting on her getting up to 3 stars. Second set of augments, we're still in the silver tier, so nothing too exciting. Burning strikes, likely the best of the bunch, because at least we'll be doing some burn damage to them. And just before this round started, I managed to put together a 2-star Diana, and I started to think maybe there's another way to go with this particular build, because at this moment, I'm not really feeling this one. So I decided to toss in Diana without any items just to see how much that will help. She is a fairly decent champion, and to get an early 2-star 3 cost, it should help your team roll just a little bit. And it is time for an item choice, and we're going to go ahead and just start building into Diana items, Titan's Resolve being absolutely key. And then we have the chance to pick up an additional Janna. So very quickly, this has shifted from the Heavenly Altruists into a Dragon Lord build, and we'll see where it goes from there. But the change cannot be instant, and it's not going to turn the team around. We're still not really set. We're kind of half in, half out of everything right now, and while we're heading in a different direction, we still have to get there. We're into our final set of augments, and Pandora's items is probably going to be the best choice unless something else jumps out here that's obvious. Nothing does. Now, we need to continue to switch over to a Dragon Lord Sage build from the Heavenly Altruist build that we originally started with, or Heaven's Angels as I called it. The biggest power spike in the Dragon Lord build is at 4, because that's when you get to include a stun in the Dragon Breath. So before then, it becomes a little tricky, and it will depend on how strong your champions are, and we've got a lot of 1-stars in the back. Now we're in a little bit of a desperate situation, but luckily through Pandora's items, we were able to get a blue buff on Morgana. She's now up to 2 stars, and perfect items for Diana. We also go ahead and pick up the Hull Crusher that we can put on Annie, and can use our champion duplicators to get Diana up to the gold 3 stars. Then we can go ahead and make a Rabadon's death cap on Morgana, and that should make us a lot more powerful. I have also found that bringing Annie into this comp is very valuable. It's going to tick Invoker along with Janna, and she is a pretty good frontline tank, one of the best of the non-bruiser behemoth groups, simply because she heals as she continues to hit things. Now, she's 1 star, so she went out early here, but Diana helped clean it up. And I really would have liked to have found a 2-star Annie by now, but she is not there. So she is not as strong as she could be, and I really need her to help hold things back more so Morgana can finish them off, but alas, we're down to our last life. In the NPC round, we managed to get a Wukong, so we can go up to the 3 Sages, and we can give him the Last Whisper, but more importantly, we 2-starred the Annie, so we have a much stronger front line now that can hold things up for Diana and for Morgana. And the idea right now is to use Annie and Diana as a wall, and the two of them together are going to keep things from breaking through, which will allow Morgana to be able to do enough damage, and as you can see, she leads the damage charts. We have an item choice here, and Dragon's Claw is going to be perfect for Annie. We want her to stay up as long as possible. Looking back on this game, I can see a huge mistake here. I should have gotten Rakan into this fight, because that's our 4th Dragon Lord, and that 4th Dragon Lord is really important. Instead, I kept Azir in because he was doing some damage, but the Dragon Lord would have been more effective. Luckily, it didn't end up really changing the outcome here, because we end up winning this fight, and then we are in the top 4. Now that we have Rakan in, we want a P item, so Spear of Sojin will be very good for Rakan. We can keep building into Azir. We had sold one that we had before to get Wukong up to 2 stars because it seemed like that was important to stay alive in this match, which it probably was, since I made the mistake of not putting in Rakan around earlier. Notice we are now also 2 Annies away from getting a gold 3-star Annie, one of them sitting in the shop. And this fight in general is just a giant mess, and you will see what I mean, because it is hard to tell at any point who is going to win and who is going to lose. We both have 2-star Wukongs that are slamming damage down. Usually I have the Story Weaver in this, because I bring Story Weaver into it, but around here you start to see it take shape, and again, it's the tanks that really hold on and win the round. And I really can't overstate enough how important Annie has become to this build for me, and while it wasn't in my original composition of it when I did my 5 builds you should know, I think Annie is a critical element to the Wise Dragons. Giving you that Invoker and that additional frontliner is just so powerful. Again, you can see it here. It's Annie with Diana together that really makes the team tick. And while Annie doesn't do a lot of damage, she soaks up a ton of it, allowing Diana this time to lead the damage charts. And it isn't long after this fight that we just need 1 roll and we have our gold 3-star Annie. Now, we need to go ahead and check and see what we're fighting, which is the Story Weaver team. So we're going to go ahead and move everyone over, but I want you to keep an eye on how devastating Annie is. I think she is one of the strongest 4 costs. Not sure, haven't been able to test them all, but from my perception and what I see in a match like this, when she pops her ult, things just start vanishing, and she's not taking damage because she's healing it back as fast as they can deal it to her, and she just clears that board and ends up leading the damage charts, and it's GG for everyone. So yeah, gold 3-star Annie, she'll get you there. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.